Hey folks, it's Jim for the Movie Wine, and with Ridley Scott's Prometheus coming out this week, I thought I'd revisit the original 1979 picture, Alien. In the future, a crew heads home to Earth on their commercial towing spaceship Nostromo, carrying tons of mineral ore and refinery. The crew is waking up from hypersleep when the ship intercepts a distress signal from a distant planet. Following corporate orders, they explore and find a derelict spaceship where one crew member, Kane, comes across thousands of alien eggs, one of which releases a creature and attaches itself to Kane's face, leaving him unconscious. Against the ship's protocol, they bring him back to the ship, where after some time the parasite attached to him dies. They soon take off, thinking the worst is over. Soon after, an alien erupts from Kane's stomach and escapes. Turns out the transmission was some sort of warning as the crew tries to handle this threat and its unknown protector. Alien is the kind of classic that probably couldn't be made today, but its particular qualities make it fresh, innovative, and different from what was released back then and what is released now. With the script not entirely complete, the film was pitched as a Jaws in space and would likely go on to be a low-budget Roger Corman flick. Eventually, the script found its way to director Walter Hill, who formed a production company with ties to 20th Century Fox. After some disagreements and script changes resulting in 8 different drafts, 20th Century Fox finally greenlit the picture after the success of Star Wars, showcasing the box office draw of the sci-fi genre. Scott created detailed storyboards that impressed 20th Century Fox so much that they doubled the budget to $8.4 million, and the rest is history. Most of the character actors in this film, some more recognizable than others, were fairly old. This isn't a young, sexy cast, with the youngest cast member being Sigourney Weaver as the iconic Ellen Ripley, the warrant officer on the ship. Weaver was mostly known on Broadway, was the last one cast for the film, impressing Scott and various producers in our audition. The supporting cast is just as diverse, trying to fulfill the concept of truckers in space, which has been one of its great appeals. These weren't soldiers, and most of them were not scientists. They were hard-working but grounded people we could relate to. Scott was inspired partly by Star Wars, where the scenes on Tatooine were not clean, different from that of the most immaculate sci-fi pictures. Tom Skerritt avoids the mistakes that most actors do when they play authoritative captains, as Dallas never becomes obnoxious. Yaphet Kotto and veteran Harry Dean Stanton have great chemistry as Parker and Brett, two engineers who fit the blue-collar bill. Coming right off of the Invasion of Body Snatchers, Veronica Cartwright as Lambert, the ship's navigator, is the opposite of Ripley in strength. John Hart's role is minimum as Kane, but in return he has the film's most iconic scene, practically giving birth to an alien. In case you haven't seen it, I won't reveal much about Science Officer Ash, played brilliantly by Ian Holm, but I will say he is not entirely what he seems, and yet given the reveal of his character, he doesn't play it in an obvious way. It's a deceptively human performance. Even though the crew starts dropping like flies in the second half, the first hour is a slow but effective build-up in tension thanks to great composer Jerry Goldsmith. However, some of the most nail-biting scenes are quiet, only using the ambient sound of wind or the inside corridors of the ship to unsettle the viewer. In today's world, will Prometheus have the same kind of pacing? Well, even with Scott as the helmer, I'm not so sure. In Alien, Scott initially gives the illusion of security, but with the foreshadowing of something bad happening. He also wisely keeps the alien within the shadows for the majority of the film, letting our mind fill in the gaps. There are very few jump scares, and most of the bloodshed is off-screen, making Scott rely more on atmosphere than anything else. The scene where Dallas is in the shafts of the ship as the alien closes in on him is top-notch filmmaking. Given its premise, it's really more of a horror film. It's like a haunted house flick in space, but unlike most horror films, you can't get frustrated with these characters wanting them to leave the house because, well, they can't. There's also some interesting Freudian sexual overtone touches throughout the film, from a man experiencing the pain of birth to male oral rape as the parasite latches itself to Kane's face. Screenwriter Dan O'Bannon said that the film was a response to horror films where women are sexually attacked by male monsters by reversing it on the men. The characters also refer to the ship as Mother, though the ship's actions are anything but motherly due to corporate agenda. Fitting for this film to be released in the 70s, as the film has a strong fixation on capitalism. 33 years old, this flick has aged really well, feeling hardly at all dated. The beautiful yet gritty art direction and special effects are spot on, as well as H.R. Geiger's nightmarish design of the alien. With natural performances, masterful suspense, and state-of-the-art production qualities, Alien is a genre masterpiece. That's it for the Movie Wine. Have a good day, folks. Until next time.